Of all the negative publicity Donald Trump has gotten over the past few days, this pretty much deserved. Because this guy is an inept clown, and this proves it 100%. And then you start to realize something, that this guy really does care only when his wallet isn't that affected. This guy is causing the economy to go boom again, thanks to trade wars that nobody wants a part of, and his ineptitude of financial stability is showing. And everybody's thinking, oh, it's okay, it's all good. This guy's an idiot. This guy's a complete, absolute buffoon idiot, and we proved it. Well, pretty much says it all, because this is Home Turf Radio. Hello, everybody. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the content, as it helps the channel out a lot, and it helps me out a lot because it helps get more views than ever before. I've done that with the Brian Shapiro expose I've done, and I'm doing more and more when it comes to YouTube now. So feel free to subscribe, and don't forget to check out buymeacoffee.com/Matthew Holly to help support the project. Now on to the big story. Ladies and gentlemen, the Inept clown is at it again. This time, when the stock market went down again and again and again, the self-professed Inept clown went onto a social media platform telling us, don't be weak, don't be stupid. He's saying the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago, but he bumbled again. He invented a new word, coming up with a brand new term. It reads as such: the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Don't be weak, don't be stupid, don't be a panican. A new party based on weak and stupid people. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. Unfortunately, the stock market opened to a third day of decline since Donny Boy unveiled his sweeping tariffs against some of the country's biggest trading partners, particularly the Chinese government. Of course, the S&P 500 fell 1.4%, with this decline following it experiencing its worst week since the start of the pandemic in March 2020. Of course, the Dow Jones Industrial Average also dropped 1,700 points, though it gained some of its weight back by noon. Roughly $10 trillion has been wiped out from equity markets worldwide, Bloomberg reported on Monday. Trump, of course, Donny Boy has forecast that his tariffs will bring in $1 trillion to the country by next year, though he acknowledged that Americans may feel a little pain as a result, which said will be short term and something people will understand. And everybody wants to work, and everybody's going to have to work extra hard to make their money grow. Donny Boy is a butt fumbler. He said it's to be expected where this is a patient, and right that was very sick. He said last week by any of the immediate hardships felt by American consumers. Of course, economists have meanwhile forecast gross domestic product (GDP) to fall, inflation to rise, and they have continuously raised the probability of a U.S. recession taking place within the next 12 months. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dixon, sorry about that. I thought I'm into the college basketball bowl because the national championship is coming up tonight. Whether or not the menu of tariffs causes a recession remains in question, but it will slow down growth. Of course, JP Morgan Chase last week raised its odds of a recession occurring from 40% to 60% by year end. Goldman Sachs on Monday raised its odds from 20% all the way to 35%. 15% increase. Of course, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said on Friday that the central bank will hold off on moving interest rates until it better understands the impacts of the clown's tariffs, which he said he expects to raise inflation and unemployment. The butt fumble at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
There can be permanent tariffs, and there can also be negotiations, because there are things that we need beyond tariffs. We need open borders. We almost had a deal with China where we're going to open up China. It was almost done. Some of you remember it during my first term.
Sounds like a hypocrite, don't you think? For all of his fumbling idiocy, this shows you that Donald Trump is an absolute buffoon idiot who does not 100% admit his failures and his own mistakes. This is a butt-fumbling mistake from him. And everybody who buys into this bullshit are complete idiots as well. Many people are starting to see that this guy is not who we think he is. Of course, we don't want to see him fail, but he's a complete moron. And everybody's gonna hate me for saying him or insult him, but nobody wants this guy to fail. Everybody wants him to see what he could do. But this butt fumbling idiot has shown me that he's not a good leader, and that maybe he should have never ran in 2024. I wonder what Mike Johnson has to say about all of this, especially if he's still the butt kisser to the asshole in chief.
We have to give the president space. His strategy is playing out. It's been less than a week, so I think he's owed that.
Okay, so maybe Mike Johnson's there just trying to kiss his ass a little bit more, especially because of all of this shit going on. China did throw in a big fat tariff tax against Fat Boy, and yeah, it was very difficult and it's very, very sufferable. That Donald Trump's an idiot. Republicans should say they could stop this at any time. It says he's crashing the global economy with arbitrary tariffs against countries around the world, but it doesn't have to be this way. They can stop it at any time. The Constitution gives Congress the power to control tariffs, but lawmakers have over the decades ceded their power to the White House, with laws expanding the president's trade powers, including authorities to impose duties in cases of emergency. Donald Trump is an absolute buffoon idiot. And of course, Port Butt decided to screw up a lot. Money down the line, money down the drain. Don't do this shit. We're idiots. We're dumb. And he shows us again and again that the butt fumble really shows me that I'm not going to be part of this shit. When oil prices are down, interest rates are down, the slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Food prices are down, there is no inflation. And the long-time abused USA is bringing in billions of dollars a week from the abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This guy is an absolute food idiot. He protects his image. This is and this is from his original tweet post here. The social media platform that the clown has created. He said, "This is," and he goes all like this. "This is despite the fact that the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose markets are crashing, just raised its tariffs by 34% on top of its long-term ridiculously high tariffs. Plus, not acknowledging my warning for abusing countries not to retaliate. They made enough for decades, taking advantage of the good old U.S. of A. Our past leaders are to blame for allowing this." This guy's a complete idiot. and so much else to happen in our country. Let's make America great again. The guy's a complete buffoon idiot. We knew that from the word go. We knew this from the word go. He employed idiots, such as Agriculture Secretary Brooke Wallace. Who was unable to explain on Sunday why the U.S. has placed tariffs on uninhabited lands, only defending her colleagues in the Inept Clown's administration as the smartest people I have ever worked with. This is a butt fumbling idiot. Of course, Trump recently announced a blanket 10% tariff on imports entering the U.S. from nearly every country in the world, including uninhabited islands near Antarctica. Of course, Jake Tapper on CNN State of the Union at Scott Wallen says the Heard Island and McDonald Islands have zero human inhabitants. They have zero exports. They have zero imports. They do have a lot of penguins. Why are you putting import tariffs on islands that are entirely populated by penguins? And the idiot agriculture secretary doubles down. She does it saying U.S. lives are under a tariff regime from other countries. She said, interjecting the reminder that the McDonald Islands are not imposing any tariffs on the U.S. because the McDonald Islands are only populated by penguins, who decided to make the jump from that island. What's her response? Whatever. Listen, the people that are leaning in this are serious and intentional patriotic, the smartest people I've ever worked with. She's an absolute buffoon idiot, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute buffoon idiot. And maybe it's best if we let the idiots run this country, and then they show you that they're showing you butt fumbling idiot. They're butt fumbling idiots. This is why I despise this idiocy. I can only imagine what he spoke about when it came right down to it.
We're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on. So they've gone for years. They've become a rich country because of people, again, that were in the White House that allowed this to happen. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they'd make on us on trade, and it shouldn't be that way. And I have a great relationship with President Xi. I hope it's going to stay that way.
And yet this guy decided to fuck him in the ass again. That's right. You heard me right. Fuck him in the ass. Of course, because China has always said, Brian Krassenstein said China said the current trade agreement with China, phase 1, was forced by Trump on January 15th, 2020, while in the White House. So the butt fumble shows you how it's done. He's the complete idiot. Not only, but he's also the mental patient that should have been in a mental institution. This absolute buffoon idiot is killing you, full stop. But he spews another lie. Take a listen to this bullshit.
You know, our country was the strongest, believe it or not, from 1870 to 1913. You know why? It was all tariff-based. We had no income tax. Then in 1913, some genius came up with the idea of let's charge the people of our country, not foreign countries that are ripping off our country. And the country was never that kind of wealth. We had so much wealth, we didn't know what to do with our money.
And then the butt fumbling idiot decided to lie again. Here's the facts. The U.S. is economically much stronger now than it was in the late 1800s by nearly every meaningful measure. This is from Brian Krassenstein. He said, in 1890, the U.S. GDP was around $15 billion nominal dollars. In 2025, the U.S. GDP is over 28 trillion. Of course, in 1890, GDP per capita 5,000 to 6,000 in today's dollars. 600, and of course, in 2025, 85 grand. In the 1890s, unemployment rate went. Estimates suggest frequent double-digit unemployment during panics. This year, 4.1%. Of course, the 1990s reserve currency, the British pound, held that role. And of course, in 2025, the US dollar is the world's reserve currency. So yeah, the fumble lied. Because this guy's an idiot. And everybody's buying it and everybody's believing in the bullshit. I mean, come on. You gonna lie? If you want to lie to people about being an economic or learn about economy, look what's happening. Look what's happening, and tell me this country's better off right now. This is a butt fumbling idiocy that never goes away. And for me, it's just shocking that people are still buying into this bullshit because this is idiocracy, and we're losing it. This is a trade war. There are trade wars we can win, and trade wars we can't win. This isn't a trade war we can win. And I guess Donald Trump is slowly going to learn the hard way that he fucks around. He's going to find out that his allies are going to be doing business with other people, not the United States. Donald Trump is losing his battle, and the more you defend this, the more inept you become. I guess when you look back at it, I guess we have idiots running around. If you're defending this crap, you're pretty much insane. And I think for a reason that even I can understand, is that this country is built on how we use our money correctly. This is an idiot that doesn't work. He just gets his money off his old man, who's long gone in his world. And this guy, and he's gonna screw around with your 401k. He's gonna your retirement money's gonna go out the window. This guy is, oh God, he's insane. It's insane to me. It's insane that people still defend this guy when he's doing something stupid. But thanks for watching. I will say this because I really care about the country and where it should be heading. People should be good human beings, and also stay happy and stay healthy. That's one good thing. That's all I can say because I'm starting to get real tired of talking about this guy. Take care of yourselves, everybody. We'll see you next time. And when we put up the next upload, take care of yourselves, each other, and don't feed the trolls. Like what you see? Buy me a damn coffee. Link in description. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks a lot. Watch more right here.